this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either.
True indeed.
So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country.
Indeed.
The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sounded presidential, JD.
Okay, so he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014.
Okay.
So
Obama was there.
A lot of years. So I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2015.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
Right, I wasn't even
yes,
here, bro.
but during 2014 till 2022, what the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him. A lot of conversation.
I think I get what he's trying to say.
And we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but
All right, Solutionaries, we got more to come on that. Listen, it was getting spicy in the White House, all right? Maj Toure, founder of BGM Solutionary University, trapped in the RV, 90 days, help support our work, get me out the RV. Today doesn't seem that bad in the RV because I got this entertaining television with Zelensky, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump happening in the White House. Now, for those of you that don't know, obviously, Ukraine is at war with Russia. They're working on a peace deal. He's here today, Friday, to attempt to try to get that situation done. Duh, right? Cool. He came in a little hot. You know, your boy Zelensky came in a little, Mr. Snowman came in a little hot. And so there is him attempting to explain that the diplomacy that J.D. Vance is talking about from the American nation, he's saying, in essence, J.D. Vance is like, listen, Joe Biden was in there trying to thump his chest and act like whatever, but his actions was the opposite. He actually gassed you up to go get into the war with Russia when he could have destroyed you for real. But we're going to try it more diplomatically. Now that's what President Trump is trying to do. I ain't going to hold you. JD looking real presidential at this point. Real strong, solid, and that's a fair taking position that he had to push back. Because what Zelensky was trying to say, in essence, was, what type of diplomacy you talking about? He's there to try to argue the point that, in essence, America should get more behind him on his side and not Putin's. And to Trump's earlier statements in that little clip, him saying, yo, you got hatred towards Putin. Putin don't really rock with you. I'm trying to keep things cool for a minute so we can try to work a deal, get the deal done, because I want peace. Love that fact. Love that statement. Love the fact that President Donald Trump on the world stage is saying, we are trying to offer diplomacy as opposed to just more motherfucking nuclear rockets, right? More whatever the fuck, more beef, more death, more guns, more tanks, right? We trying to do this a different way, backed up by JD Vance wonderfully. Now let's go a little bit further into what Zelensky's saying in response to that, solutionaries. Check this out.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3
Oh.
days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that,
American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That wasn't with me.
It wasn't with me.
That was with
Wasn't with
a
you.
guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia...
Solutionaries, there is absolutely nothing wrong with what Donald Trump said there. The beauty of this exchange happening publicly is the sentiment for the American people to go, damn, we gave man $350 billion in a war that they couldn't win, and that has been extended since the Obama administration, right? Even Trump said, we gave you some javelins, we gave this, that, and the third, whoop-de-whoop-whoop. But the American people are like, what the fuck, bro? Our prices of eggs is up because money been going all of these other different places, like wars that we shouldn't even be a part of. And it's kind of good that Zelensky played his hand. He has a tremendous sense of entitlement. But let me say this, solutionaries. He 1000% was trying to say, hey, we've been under attack by Putin since 2014. So it hasn't necessarily been diplomacy. And when he said, you think that speaking loudly, he meant that not towards, JD Vance. He was saying, like, if you speak loudly towards Putin, that he's going to fall back. And the answer, and I think that was taken out of context by President Trump. He was like, he's not speaking to you loudly. But what he is saying is Putin is not going to stop. But that's not actually accurate, because when Trump was in office, Putin didn't invade to that extent. So these are things that are nuanced, and it's good that the general public kind of sees it. But Donald Trump is 1000% correct here. Let's read it. Let's watch a little bit more and see how it ends up.
Maybe he did. I don't know what happened, but he didn't break it with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together.
This was great television. See, when I say things like, yo, urban demographics more specifically, I work at the Solutionary Center, and BGM and our work at Solutionary Lifestyle is targeting urban demographics. When we say urban America needs to get politically active, and when you see behind that curtain, it is just dudes talking, chopping that shit up, figuring out you was wrong here, I'm wrong here, along with a solid civic understanding, then you start to see that this is the everyday man and woman that could be and should be involved in politics. Not just people that act like this shit is way above everybody's head, because it doesn't have to be. But this example right here is Zelensky, his entitlement, his trying to bluster on the world stage after being invited into the White House to speak about a peace deal. To even get up there and position or postulate like, well, we haven't had diplomacy for real. And again, I understand what he's trying to say, but this wasn't the time for it. Because the truth is, Putin didn't invade Ukraine when Trump was in there first go round. He just wasn't. And now, even though Russia could have been destroyed Kiev, toppled it, but he didn't. Maybe he's like, yo, maybe they'll fall and we'll be able to deal with it a little bit differently and we'll still have Kiev, whatever that looks like. The bottom line is Trump's right here. JD Vance is right here. And the American people are seeing the level of entitlement, or y'all got to give us more billions and billions of dollars. Directly after he said a few weeks ago, yo, half of the 350, we don't even know where it's at. It never made it to us. So y'all got to kind of give us some more. This is not our fight. It never was our fight. The people that put us in that war by proxy are people that had other political and financial interests, not the interest of the American people. And this is 1,000% proof of it. Let's read this real quick. This is a statement from Donald Trump on Truth. Quote, we've had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. Mind you, main man got kicked out the joint. Meeting was canceled directly after that. We don't owe you shit, Zelensky. The American people are tired of endless fucking wars. Syria, Yemen. No, we're not trying to go over to South Africa to protect farmers. They got their own issues over there. No, we're not trying to go into help China and their issues with Taiwan. We have our own issues that are happening in America. And the American public just saw how entitled, unappreciative, ungrateful Zelensky is. And he's just an actor and we don't really got time for it. But I don't know. Maybe y'all like Maj, you a libertarian, you a non-interventionist, that ain't how the world really work. Maj, you just don't want to look like a leftist, but Ukraine is our ally. Whatever you want to say, put it in the comment section below. Now, if you get something right, I'm going to agree with you. You get something wrong, myself or the solutionaries in the comment section might chop you up. Also, guys, this is why civics is important. These are regular men and women. There is nothing ordained or monarchish, anything like that about these folks. The more you understand about the civic process, the limitations on government, diplomacy, conversation, argument, all of those different skill sets come from being a better statesman and a better stateswoman. This is why we have the Civics and Liberty 101 class. Go over to Solutionary University, sign up for the class, take it at your leisure. It's very important for us all to be empowered, because as we see here, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to do this. You have to be passionate about your country, know the limitations of government, and being willing to fight for what's right. My name is Maj Toure, the founder of Solutionary University. Hope to see you all in the class soon. Be safe, be solutionary.